Got caught in a dream again. Thought I saw you with your Eliott. And all the cicadas that sing to me. I could hear you praying to Saint Anthony.
I was at the disco the other day and it was so much fun, but I miss it. I want to go back in my dreams. In my dreams. In my dreams. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bring me home to the disco. Phone home to the disco.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to Joe's Java Jive, everybody.
I mess with that.
I'm feeling like we're back.
That's viral.
We're back.
No,
We're back,
literally,
folks.
We're back. What was Jamie saying last night?
Get into it.
Get into it.
Get
You can
into
do
Get
it.
into it.
Put your back into it.
Get into it. Did
Well-
we just get into it?
I think we're into it.
We just got into it.
I'm feeling into the Joe's Java Jive spirit. We got our coffee here. We do have a slideshow of apple pie
trying to-
on the television. I mean, we're
That's
here.
true.
We're here.
What more do we need? Who am I with today? Why don't we just introduce ourselves to the Joe's Java Jive community to start this thing off?
Well, my name is Tim DiBella, and this is...
Oh, I'm gonna go. My name is Eliott Houghtelling.
Awesome. And my name is Jolly Joe Jester. But since we're going real names, Joseph Anthony Davis. And from Elmira, born and raised, represent. And that we are not too far from our hometown. Where are you guys from?
I was basically, like, raised in Elmira. I wasn't born in Elmira, but, like, I've lived there most of my life. Otherwise, it's Pennsylvania. Somewhere, like, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
As if that... It doesn't really matter, but, like, basically Elmira.
Yeah. Yeah, born and bred.
So that's it. That's the Elmira alarm. Every time we mention it, that sound goes off.
Angel gets its wings.
You know, and Elmira is part of why we named our friend here Ernie. Ernie Davis.
Yeah.
Oh!
Which is someone we all love in Elmira. The first Black Heisman Trophy winner ever from Syracuse and Elmira.
Yeah.
We went to Ernie Davis School. I'm sure, you know, it's just this Elmira, for anyone who's from this town, I think it's really, we were talking a lot. We love this town.
We do.
We really think it's on the upward turn, and
true.
people like us are really rooting for it.
Apparently, it used to be a big deal. I mean, I've like seen some pictures. Like, I don't know.
Pre-flood.
Pre-flood.
That's what I'm saying.
I found out some Elmira lore this week, some untapped Elmira lore. So the guy who made the Twilight Zone, is it Rod Sterling?
Yes,
Yeah.
Rod Sterling.
Rod Sterling. So he's from Binghamton, I think, but his kid did a semester at Alfred, where I went, but she finished at Elmira College, and I heard that the first couple seasons of the Twilight Zone are based on this area. Which just really checks, like that checks.
It really does. And that sounds right. It is very Twilight Zone-y out here, and I am a big fan of that. And I've known too that he's from these parts and spent a lot of times out, like even towards Ithaca.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. And Hal Roach also, I saw on the sign on my drive-in today, the person behind the Little Rascals.
Oh, that's what he did?
Yeah, and more. But that was also based off their experience around Elmira.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, Mark Twain.
It's
Mark
like
Twain, our boy Mark Twain.
Oh, and yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Samuel Clemens,
Samuel
as you
Clemens.
might also know them. And just,
Wait. Who's Samuel Clemens?
Well, Samuel Clemens is Mark Twain.
You're so
Stop!
Yes. That's why it's the Clemens Center, the famous Performing Arts Center.
Stop. Okay, I did not even think about that. Actually,
This is why we jive, and I've had that on Jeopardy or trivia, and I'm like, Samuel Clemens. I know this. And the little octagon where they live still in Elmira. But I am also put you guys in this same list as that this amazing duo is also from Elmira.
oh my gosh. Okay.
Elliot and Tim, also known as E.T.
Yeah.
Where did that start from?
Most of the time I forget that it didn't even start like that.
Yeah.
It didn't start by your
No, it was
acronyms.
It was Destiny.
No.
And,
Should you tell
I'll
the story?
start. We jump in. We can go. Okay, so 6th grade. We're like, I don't know what, like 11, like little guys. 6th grade. Green
How
team.
old are you in 6th grade? 11?
Something like
I'm
that.
not good at that math.
No,
I
then
always
we'll
mess
just
that
like
up.
6th grade Green Team 2, Ernie Davis.
Okay.
Ernie Davis. We're at
I'm
Ernie
there.
Davis, and I'm a weird little guy. I just recently started public school since a Catholic school,
Oh, wow.
and I was just trying to find my way in this world, and I really I had this phobia of E.T., the extraterrestrial, growing up, and I thought of the only way to combat that was to draw him all the time.
Exposure therapy.
So I was sitting in class one day and I was just drawing, and I drew this little drawing of E.T., and he was wearing a sombrero and he had a poncho on, and I was trying to picture E.T. if he went on vacation to like Cancun.
Yes.
Like he was like really having a great time, and
They showed that picture to me. We sat next to each other.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
I feel like you must have brought up like the ET drawing like thing like
I think we had like talked about it, and then I was
Like-
like, I think trying to get Tim's attention, so I was like, I'm gonna like, because I was like, oh,
that
Tim's
must
cool.
have been
This is a
it.
conversation
Because
starter.
they showed me
Yeah.
this thing. It said ET in Mexico. It had like
Yeah.
maracas on a beach or
yeah,
something.
and he was serving, and so I was like, yeah, check this out, and Tim like just thought it was the funniest thing ever, and like at this point in my life, no one thought I was funny, so I was like, that's it, locked in.
But no,
This
it
is my
was
new
a good
best friend.
reason to like a good way to like have a friend. To be honest, like
Yeah.
So-
like I'll just draw another ET back, and later it like somehow Lady Gaga got involved.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
they were,
she was
well,
in the drawings.
They were
it
married.
turned into a whole narrative.
They were,
Oh
and we
my
had like
God.
this lore. We made at one point a dummy of ET before we were like adults and could buy ETs. We made one.
We
out of-
we used these though.
We did use these. So then eventually our career
Molds.
We had
as
a career.
we had
actually,
our
with the
career
ET thing.
as
because we just like
artists.
to make stuff together.
yeah. So,
It's always just what we do for fun. That's our friend language.
Yeah.
That's right at the root of this friendship.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
making art.
and
right.
so we would make stop action with these little guys right here.
We had like sets, and
We
we
had
had a
sets,
YouTube channel,
channels.
and everything. And we made like whole entire. We would sit and write like scripts.
Is it still out there? Because this is this
No.
place to shout it out.
No,
Yeah.
if anything, this is gonna be like the
If anyone
realest-
could find it,
This is a challenge.
This
If you
was
could use like
if
we
you
never, did we ever use the Wayback Machine?
I don't know. They were on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe
that
way
can-
back. What was
Yeah.
the title? Just to like give us a
E.T.
window.
Inc.
ET Inc. Yeah. So this whole thing evolved into us selling ET merch out of my locker in
Oh.
6th grade.
We should try
Yeah.
going back on the way back and seeing if we have our
Yeah,
videos
we should try to
sometime
find
because
our
we've
videos.
never
It's, like,
tried that.
unlocked right
Do they
there.
have videos on the way
It's our
back?
early work.
That's a really good point. This is a website for those who don't know where you can kind of revisit old things from the internet that you thought were gone
Not a
forever.
clue. I don't even know if it's a real
It's
website.
it's important to know because they always say for the kids these days, if once you put it out there, it's
It'll
out
never go
forever.
away.
Believe it. It's part of the code that
Yeah.
you can forever access.
Yeah.
I hope at least
So-
because I want to see those videos.
They were
Yes.
there. So yeah, that's how we started making stuff together, and kind of just didn't stop after
Did
that.
kids buy it from the locker? You had some customers?
we had like it was like a barter system.
We invented our own currency.
Yeah, and if
we
people-
had ET bucks,
people
and we had
were- yeah.
ETM as at our locker.
ATM.
yeah, and if they were like nice to us or whatever, they'd get ET bucks.
Oh my god.
And it was
We'd
really
give 'em out, too.
successful. That was like the beginning of our entrepreneuring career.
That's true.
So
That is so great.
Yeah.
Those kinds of friendships early on, like
Yeah.
you finally find someone who's like right there with your spirit to create things and stories and like, but go all out. Like,
Yeah.
I want this to be fully seen and
But that's
experienced.
like almost like why we make music right now, though, is because like we used to just make so much stuff together.
Yeah, just
like,
always.
We used to make the YouTube videos. We'd always like I got into doing art because of them. Like
Well,
it's
yeah.
like sort of why I even went to college for art and everything. And like I mean, like my family did art and everything. I had like artists in my family and everything, but like. I don't know. Elliot even encouraged me to start recording music. I've always played music too, just because like my parents knew how to play music, so like I'd learn from them and stuff. But that was just me playing and just knowing how to play songs. I never really recorded anything, let alone like mixed anything or tried to compose anything. But I don't know. And it just became something we do for fun. Elliot got me into it. They like basically like.
I kind of forced him.
me.
I kind of was like, we're gonna do this.
Well, I'm so glad that you did because you guys have made such incredible music. I've been listening to it, been a supporter of it since the very beginning, and
Well,
just
thanks.
am so thankful that you
Thank
guys
you.
have met, and this union, has brought so much creativity and art out to the world.
And it's really almost an accident though. Like it's just for fun. Like
Yeah,
we don't ever have a purpose. But I mean, like every song has a point. But none of them were formed with a purpose, really, other than to just not worry about anything else that we have to worry about and just like do something fun and just make something that has an impact to someone, even if it's just us
yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Not even just now. Even if I hate the song now, I'm going to look back at it later if I keep it and I like it.
my future self will enjoy this, and
Right.
that's enough.
Yeah.
But other people will too, and this music that you guys had fun making is very fun. It's
Thank
like you have fun listening to it, and they all are their own, worlds and universes. So, what is it that? How did that start? In the creative process. Were you the ones editing the videos and putting it together? And like, how did you kind of form this taking on different levels of the production from the beginning?
Well, back then, if we're talking about the ET thing,
Yeah.
I just got a phone back then with a camera.
Yeah.
And so that kind of like opened a whole new world.
And Tim had a phone and I didn't. I don't even think I had internet at home at this point. And
I
like,
didn't
Good
either.
parents.
I didn't even
Yes.
have internet. I didn't either, but I had the phone with internet.
And the fact
Yes.
that like, I mean, we'd go over to Tim's house, and Tim also is the reason like I got into like technology, because like you knew everything about technology.
Eventually.
But like, I mean, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna make videos on your awesome Android phone. Like
That's so
that is
cool.
really
But we made the sets first, and honestly,
Yeah.
we probably played with them just as like dollhouse.
like imagine
style.
Barbies, but like a lot weirder
Excuse me,
than
but
that.
literally.
Like it
That's
got
so cool.
yeah. So yeah,
But
It was
you
like our
made it.
Barbie.
yeah. We
And,
made it.
you guys designed
Right.
it. You
Yeah.
created
We
it.
used a lot of Legos.
A lot of Legos, a lot of cardboard.
cardboard,
glue.
Sharpie.
And how old are you guys? This was like still green team. Like,
It was like
Yeah.
we're talking like 2011, so like yeah,
11,
because
12.
we've been friends for like 12 years now.
that's so amazing. And to
Yeah.
have that relationship where you're playing with toys and kind of creating this,
It's true.
it's amazing. It's like how animation and these things bring people together when
Yeah.
you find your people.
Yeah.
The world like puts you together. I have friendships too like this where it's just like you find like a craft and you can't. I'm sure you couldn't wait to hang out with each other.
Oh my god,
Literally,
yeah.
still
I would
today.
just
yeah,
they'd be
every
like, "Can
day.
I ride your bus home with
Yeah.
you?" Or I would say that, or they would be
Yeah.
saying that. Like,
And it's still like that, and it's so
Yes,
like
it hasn't changed.
it hasn't changed, and
Yeah.
it's so
that's
special.
why I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and what has changed is now I'm sure you're extremely professional.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm like you
But we make it
described.
fun when we need to.
And the more professional you are, the more fun you can have, and,
Right.
and the more organized. You guys, the setup it takes to create these beats, and your percussion and the way you kind of have such a different sound for every song that it takes you into a different world, and you never know what's going on. There's all these like amazing elements happening in the music. That's really cool, and I'm a big fan of that kind of textured art. It's
I
not
try and
clean.
take you somewhere. Like I
Yeah.
try and make it a little journey, even if like you're not even in the headspace to listen or get pulled into the somewhere I'm trying to take you. It's still happening.
when I came here tonight, I'm someone who's kind of been playing music for a while, but the act of actually recording it and putting it into, a form that can be listened to again and something you're happy with, I've just been using my phone, oftentimes pressing the voice memo thing, and even recording a podcast like Joe's Java Jive. It's been a process, and coming to a place like this, not recording at home. It's trying to set it up, a big ball of wires. It's a lot. So to be somewhere where you can have your own, set up and experience it and, create the canvas, and constantly just be like, we can sit here and play and it's all so easy. There's something really cool to be said about that. It's very disciplined.
That's true. I think, and I think about all of that time and before I learned what this whole world of art is, the tools that we just invented for ourselves to make it happen, and even still just it's, if you want to do something you can do it, and there's something
it's
around
true
you to do it.
You don't even have to pay, and you have more tools than the Beatles started with, at least. In making music, at least. I mean, you literally don't even have to pay for it. You got, even if you don't have a computer, GarageBand on your phone.
It's so true.
And you could write, you could write a song without anything. You could write a song with just yourself and a microphone. I could write a song right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need much. And, some of your stuff, I don't think there's any instruments in some of the tracks where it's all computer electronic.
No, yeah. I it's all about perception in my music, honestly. Yeah. I mean, literally, it's all about perception. So it's a lot of stuff in life. I don't know if I'm too close or not. I mean, I don't know if
this is it.
The mic can hear me, but
I think you sound great. And that's the thing, the perspective of something like this. You just need to hear our voices, the podcast, and it comes through with everything you do where you create, your lyrics, your sound, your fun in the moment. That really picks up.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much to transmit your energy and spirit.
Sure, you got to be in a good mood. That's why I have more funny songs than serious songs, because if I'm not having fun making the song, who's gonna have fun listening to it?
I heard a really fun one today. There was a few that I added. Funk Your Pussy Up.
Oh, yeah, that one. That's a good one.
That's a very fun one. Just to give you an idea.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That one kind of came out of, we were listening to a lot of Pharrell at the time, I think.
Okay,
and I think we were
I was
but we were just having fun.
Sing a song.
Right.
And it's just sometimes you want to get out and funk your pussy up.
That's it. That's just there's a funness to that I was like, all right, this is amazing. And one of the first tracks, Seep. I went back to Seeping.
Yeah.
Seeping was such a cool thing. I recommend folks.
That was our first song.
Yeah. That was our first.
We used to only just make fun songs, funny songs.
Silly.
We wanted to laugh. We were the only ones listening to it. We still are. I mean, it all started. We've got this whole album, couple albums, and there's going to be another one because we're still doing it.
Well,
but
and
Seeping was the first one where we were we want to make a real cool listenable.
Well, and I did something to Tim that I've kind of done a lot, and I'm sorry for it, which is agreeing to things on both of our behalfs, which was, in this case, I was taking a class, and one of our friends, Max, had made a venue in Corning, and they had these shows and stuff, and they came up to me in the class and they were like, you make music, right? And I was like, yeah, totally. And they were like, how would you like to do?
This is how they forced me to start making music, and that's how Seeping happened.
And so they were like, oh, do you want to do a show? And I was like, yeah, easy. And so, and I
could just play some songs in the piano. They were like, oh, easy.
And then so I went home to Tim and I was like, so in 2 weeks or something like that, we are going to open for our friends the Grand Ave at the time. And Tim was like, all right. And so then
I was like, what do you mean? It didn't really make sense. I was like, we don't have songs.
He hated. And so then we cracked down, and that sort of, I think about that a lot, and it kind of really started that. So in that album, it was a lot of songs that were made from the end of beginning of 2019 till that point. It came out 2023, so it was a long journey.
Elliott's album is just a result of that.
Yeah.
A result of of me like on this like really quick on the spot trying to come up with something. Well, Elliot writes.
Yeah.
So I was just me trying to entertain someone, and it was Elliot. I would be picking like some keys, picking some chords, and I'd be like, "Is this good?" Like playing some riffs, and he'd be like, "No." But like, no, I'm just kidding. But no, like, so we somehow like wrote like 4 songs, I think.
Yeah.
And we still have some of them we never like really recorded or anything, but Seeping was really the only one we ever recorded. And even if they sound like shit, it's really just because I didn't know how to
They do not.
anything.
They do not.
It's all
They
about
still
perception.
hold up. I was listening today, and I played that one 3 times in a row because I was like, I want to hear it, and the lyrics were so fun, and I was like showing Serena, and I was just really, taken aback by like the vibe of it, the amazing feelings that it brought up, and was really cool.
I just try and incorporate a lot of feeling in music. I mean, but I just try and incorporate what things that I feel or I've felt over the years, and that's how like your inspirations come into your making your music, because like when I'm playing and stuff, I'm looking for the same reactions internally that I get when I hear other people's music. So it's like everyone's music's kind of connected in that way, in just the feeling you get listening to music. And so I don't know, I try and put feeling into it. So like even if you just make it on the computer and stuff, if you really care enough, you can get what you want it to sound like. So like, I don't know.
And your emotions come through as a musician, and in your voice, Elliot, I find it's so fun and the different range. They're not all happy-go-lucky vibes, and some of them have such.
It's true.
Some of them take really interesting turns, and it's like a story.
And I feel like, I don't mean to cut you off. Am I cutting you off?
No, it's fine.
I just feel like we kind of get like an experience when we're in the studio together that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Even if you were like you're paying somebody to do it for you, you're not going to be able to get a song.
You don't
like
get
us
best friend
because-
core.
Literally, you don't get best friend core because we're just so close to each other.
Yeah, and
you could be close to your producer, but like this is for free.
Well, and
we're
like-
just friends. We do it for fun. So it's like Elliot has days where it's like it's not even a good day for us to be hanging out, and it's like
Perfect. The fact that you're able to hold space and say, let's channel this creatively.
right. And we live together for a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
Not right now, but we're gonna soon. But it's like I could have had a song I showed them a while ago, and they'll be writing stuff for it. But
Well, and for me, with singing and songwriting, it became this like fantasy at first, because like I wrote all the time as like an angsty teenager. I was like, I have all this stuff to say, and and then Tumblr kind of fell off, so it's like, where did these thoughts have to go? I can't. So no, but so I just wanted to start singing, and I never was a singer. I never took like any sort of like singing classes growing up. It was like, I like this enough, and how do I pretend like I'm good at this thing?
And we listen to a lot of expressionist singers.
Yeah, and I would say like the biggest like inspiration for me to write songs was, unfortunately, when I discovered the Smiths. I was like, oh my god, and so it's like, so
you don't have to be like fantastic at singing,
right?
And I'm not saying you are fantastic at singing.
Thank you.
But you're over here trying to talk about like, oh, I'm not trained or nothing, but like you don't have to be.
Right. Well, and like with new wave, and which is like my favorite thing, it's like when I started listening to new wave, I was like, a lot of these people, like, they're hitting the notes, but they sound weird, and like it's so that was
instrument.
Yeah, and so that is what really sort of inspired. But my point with this is like, so, and I do visual arts too, and with that work I'm thinking like really like externally, like outside of myself. So I'm doing like a lot of criticisms about the world, and so then when I'm writing and I'm singing they're more like these like anecdotal, like personal stories. So it's this much more like intimate thing, and I'm so glad that I can do it with Tim, because I would struggle to do it with anyone else, where it's like, I'm like, I have my like girl tears or whatever, and I'm having all this like these thoughts and stuff.
And it's kind of the same for me. I never recorded music before Elliot, and I have my friends who do and have done it before me, and that have taught me so much stuff about mixing. that you could hear over the songs of the course of the releases, like hopefully gets more sensical.
Well, and I think like my favorite thing about this whole thing is just watching, especially Tim, because Tim does 90%.
And I'm saying I'd be afraid to show it to anyone else but Elliot.
But yeah, and like Tim does 90 billion% of the work, and it's like watching him over the years like really dig his feet into this. I mean, it blows my mind. I'll come over like after being gone for 8 hours and come over, he has 3 more beats and songs made. And
they used to come over and I'd show them like an idea. I'd be like, I've got this whole song and it's like 30 seconds of a song and the rest of it's like ridiculous. But nowadays, like, that's not the case.
No, it blows my mind. And I mean, just as an artist, and like to be able to have a friend who is like this prolific and this passionate about something, I mean, it energizes me, and I'm like almost envious of it in a lot of ways, because like sometimes, like, you know, if I'm even sitting down to do a painting, I'm sitting down to like make a video or even writing a song, sometimes I'm like, you know, fuck, Tim does this shit all day. And he's so good at it. And so I am really, really grateful.
I honestly, whenever I'm like making a song, I'm always thinking about like, what could Elliot write over this? And I'm always like trying to think like you, almost put myself in your shoes.
It's like E.T.
Right. And I'm like, and every time I'm like thinking like it's probably gonna go one way, you finally come over and get the song and you like completely blow my mind, and I'm like, I didn't even know you could like, I didn't know that melody's going over this, but it is, and it's like, this is great, and it's like, it's always something that I couldn't have done, and that's why like most of the time if you hear me on the song, it's like I probably just really wanted to be on the song.
But I love that. And there's some of them that, you know, I feel, I heard your voice at the beginning of one, like, so it's good enough.
Color,
right.
Colors. Is it good?
Yeah, I really
that's my favorite song on that album.
I love really Colors. Song. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that song.
I was in this really exciting place. Like, I just graduated college, and I was making art, and like I was in this really great, awesome community at school of just all of my artist friends, people doing things that just still blow my mind. And so like, I want color, I want music, and like it's like a chant. It's a chant, and then but also there's like this sort of sadness in it where it's like jump and I'll fly, and like so, and that I actually told Tim recently. Tim's like, what were you talking about there? And I'm like, you know,
sometimes I have to ask. I'll mix a song for you.
And sometimes I hope he doesn't. And so he finally did. He was like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, you know, like jumping like off a bridge or something. And so yeah, it was like sort of like a funnier, sad song about some stuff that I was dealing with. But it ended up being this like really fun, sort of sweet, bittersweet song. So
well, I mean, that's the thing with life. Sometimes our tragic feelings and playing with that of like, I'm gonna put a happy song with sad lyrics together. I mean, and then some people feel great listening to really sad songs. Like it's amazing. But I love the chant of that and wanting the color. Hi, an amazing cat has joined us here.
This is Pickles the cat.
Pickles the cat is joining us. Let me get this cable out. Pickles. Yeah, and I'm just so moved. So tell a little bit about the visual art that you do too, because I think it's extremely amazing, and folks can check it out, I think, on Instagram, Avant Garbage.
With an X in the middle.
With an X
I have
in
two
the middle.
Instagram accounts for some reason.
Support all of it. I have like 17 Instagram accounts, as people know. Support all of it.
I'm just barely online right now. I need to poke.
Yeah, Tim needs to get online.
I need to get online.
You're so mysterious.
I'm just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Mysterious people.
Music.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be mysterious, I promise.
It's good. I like it. Keep doing what you're doing, because you guys are cranking out amazing content and music all the time. So something's good. You don't have all the distractions, maybe. That's for the best. But for art as an escape, you know, wanting color, wanting music, what has been the connection for you, and you know, these different forms of expression?
Yeah, I mean, and so like when I was really young, like I was always looking at like all of these artists, and like the one thing that I always struggled with is like picking something, and it's like, am I going to be a painter? Am I want to do all this other stuff? And then eventually, like I just learned, and I was like, well, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I really learned that when I went to the school that I did, because we just had all these crazy, amazing facilities, and coming from like a community college, I mean, it like to see people blowing glass, like doing like metal pours, just like seeing this world that I didn't even know was possible, and so for me, like I stuck to the whole painting thing. Painting for me was like something that it's probably the only thing, the first thing that I did, and I was like pretty like quickly good at it. Like it just stuck with me. It's like God's gift to me. I was like, I can do this thing. Well, no, I mean really like the first like one of this painting of E.T. is like
let's pan to that.
This is like probably I say it's like the first painting I did in like 2019. So I've really only been painting seriously for like what is that like 6 years, and I owe that to my very first mentor. Shout out to Dan Reedy, who he taught me the joy of painting, and but also just how powerful it was. And so and I always had, I guess, this like abstract idea of what it meant to be an artist, and like what does that mean? And I figured it out. And it's finding different tools and vehicles to say what you gotta say. And so I fell into painting, and I fell into like electric art and installations and stuff.
Yeah, that's some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
What exactly does electric art look like?
So once I like dug my feet into the painting and stuff, I was like, like I want more. And also, so like the things that I became really, really interested in and doing now is thinking about screens and like their presence in our lives, and also just the way that information is given to us. And so what better way to talk about it than with screens? And so then I started teaching myself and learning video art and sound art and a light, and like the thinking about light as a material, and how like the color, it's all the same thing. It's just it's given to us in different ways. So. And it just opened this world of possibilities. And I mean, it's real nerdy shit. Like people who do like electric media art. Like, I mean, there are people, like I wouldn't even, they're like worlds ahead of me. So,
well, still, it's all so cool. Like, when you're in a museum or a space and you see like the old TVs and this crazy stuff happening, any level of it is really advanced and like a very rare art form.
It's such a, like, and it's so funny because I still think like people, like sort of outside of the community of these artists, like they don't really understand, or like not even for like, I don't want to say they don't understand that, but it's like it's almost like impossible to know what the hell is going on without knowing like all the language about the technology, the tools, or even like what the tools are. And I feel that way even still doing it. So that was really exciting for me to kind of explore this new thing that I had no idea about. And I worked on some collaborative projects with my friend Lucas at school, and we really started making cool stuff with sound and video. And video, it offers like all of it's really like it's a relationship. And that when I understood that, it's not like you're clicking buttons, it's like you are having a conversation with your computer and you're making things happen. And it's so collaborative with technology, and I could like really
you've come a long way.
But and it's been a lot of fun, and the people that you meet too in these communities are just they're like wizards.
That's the best part.
That's the best part. Meeting some other artists, and they're just some of the craziest, wackiest people you'll meet.
These guys.
Like you nice people.
Well, and that's what
not that I just met.
We haven't met because of one reason I think we really met, because I was following. We knew of each other. I think I really put it back first time way back when I think we played bocce ball at some Italian festival when we were like kids. Yeah. Really young.
That's like the most Catholic thing.
How much Catholic Italian can you be? Then like I think I never played bocce ball, but your mom showed me, and so that's.
I thought it was bocce balls.
Bocce balls, meet the ball with the bocce. But I think so to follow your journey and see the painting.
Oh, likewise.
Seeing your street painting.
Oh, yeah.
How about the Elmira Street Painting Festival?
Shouts out. We won the Elmira Street Painting
All right,
Festival.
tell the
one year.
folks about that.
Yeah, let's flex.
Can we get into that?
Yeah, can we break this
What
down?
was your first one?
Except it's not like we won with a creative idea or anything. We won
with a gold star for effort.
with a gold star for effort, personally presented by us.
Yeah.
But
You're being modest.
right, maybe. But
tore that shit up.
We drew Nate Roos's album cover.
Yeah, Nate Roos.
Oh.
If you're familiar.
Tonight.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
that guy. And Teresa Oksaka, this awesome painter,
Yeah.
painted that. So it's technically she won the street painting festival, kind of, but
But she didn't get on the ground.
She didn't get on the ground and do that because we did.
You put in the work.
Yeah.
We put in the work, but she put in the work before. I saw that painting live once.
Yeah, on
by the way.
accident at the
On
torpedo
accident.
factory.
But
Whoa.
that's a different story.
That's a different
But that's
story.
where you were taking notes for street
But-
painting.
Exactly.
What we did, we won.
That's why we won, because I saw the painting in real life.
And the best thing about it, this was like the summer right after we graduated high school. So we were like, really living it up that summer. And they gave us like $300 cash. And we went and spent all of it that night and bought,
We bought Mike's Hearts.
we bought
We had-
Mike's Hearts lemonade.
I mean, no, we
No
didn't.
one bought them for
No
us.
one
We
bought
were
it.
21 and just after high school. So anyway, we somehow got our hands on Mike's Heart lemonades and
Yes.
we
I don't know
just
how we got there.
That's not important for the documentary
they came
here.
to us. And we just
That's a good way to celebrate. And so that was one of yours. I also remember you did one of our mutual favorites, John.
Yeah, and I did. I was probably 15 or 16, that sounds right. And I did a drawing of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. John Lennon, giving a flower to Yoko, because to unpack it for real, it keeps going down, so it's fine.
Yeah, maybe tilt that part up. There we go.
So yeah, the real tea about how I even became radicalized it's so funny, is because of the Beatles. And so I always consider that my because growing up in a small town,
You're not alone in that.
No,
They've radicalized most of America,
it's so funny all the time, thinking about it. My gateway into becoming a socialist was because of the Beatles, because I'm listening. I 15 get this big crush on John Lennon, who's dead. I'm like, this is my best friend. He's so cool. What's fascism? And listening to him talk about politics, and and then that's when I started disappointing my parents.
Yes, it all started there. And tonight I'm Dick Cavett. I think, I studied the John Lennon, Dick Cavett, Yoko, and all of the Lennon stuff. And it's just inspirational as an artist, and to see the combination of Yoko's visual art and, you and I were one of the few people in Elmira, I think, singing "Oh Yoko" around our our high school years.
I don't know. Do you ever feel a personal responsibility to defend Yoko Ono? In
Yes,
public,
all the time. With some of Serena's family, I have.
Yeah, I remember one time. I remember before I even knew who the Beatles were, and I just remember this moment where my mom and brother were talking about the Beatles, and my mom's some Chinese lady broke up the Beatles.
Bad narrative that.
Get my dad to like Yoko Ono because of you. And it was hard.
It's really important to me. I will die on
If
that.
you hear someone,
men don't like her, and I can't unwrap my
because she's
head
a
not this
bad
guy.
bitch.
I love her. I love her so much.
She's just everything. She really is the source of why I became a freak weirdo artist. When I saw, first of all, the fact that she got John Lennon to fall in love with her by putting an apple on a pedestal, I was
she didn't
wow.
have to try that hard because
She did not, because she's a baddie.
She knew she was better than
She
him
knew
the
she
whole
was better
time.
than him.
Absolutely.
So,
And actually, for those who are uneducated, a lot of John's best lyrics came from Yoko in that
Ono.
era, post Beatles.
Yeah.
Her ideas were really behind Imagine and a lot of that.
For any of the Paul McCartney purists out there, I will die on that hill. Yoko Ono is a queen. She's a queen.
She is, and I just that it's cool to talk about these inspirations because it's still such a big part of it for me.
So, yeah.
And all of that stuff, you mentioned it earlier. The Beatles, they really changed the way recording happens and music. and they didn't have. We have more today on one laptop than they ever had, and yeah, it's very inspirational. And Yoko, I feel really much, represents the whole counterculture, and I know she inspires you a lot with the new song coming out. There's sort of a similar title.
Yeah, See Me Like You Do. Oh, yeah, and that is just one of the sweetest songs, and it's on her album that she made right after John died, and every time I hear that song, it's so sad, and a lot of that album she recorded when he was still alive, so, yeah, she's great.
Nobody sees me like you do.
Yeah, and it's so funny because people don't know this, is she was classically trained as a vocalist forever, and like her whole thing is anti-art, and so when she's it's like it's a protest, they don't want to know it's on purpose, and that's the whole thing with like we belligerent artists is like I think it makes them mad because it is on purpose, and in a way, even if they don't understand that, they feel it, they have to.
The joke's on you.
The joke is on you.
If you hate Yoko Ono, that's the point.
That is the point, and she gets stronger, and that's why she's like 100 years old.
You can hate us artists all you want, but we've already gone through the battle of turning off our own inner critic.
Yeah.
So any critics out there, you can't touch this.
You can't touch it. I am my own bully.
Yeah, we beat ourselves up enough.
True.
But anti-art, I'm a big fan of that in all mediums, and I think just the art of sampling, like what you do, it's a whole thing.
Some of the sounds I try and come up, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like some of the sounds I try and come up with are anti-sound.
Yeah.
Or like, it's really fun to try and mix with sounds that you're trying to get as shitty and crunched up and
well, and like,
shitty
and we don't even really talk about this, and I don't know that there's like maybe a direct connection, but like as far as like, especially with like queer artists that are making music or making visual art, there is like a protest to it, and like so many of the artists we listen to are queer, like like Black Dresses or 100, just they are making like these new sounds that are like.
A lot of my music is inspired by Dabby McCallion, honestly.
Queen.
Like,
Queen.
she's queen.
Yeah, and
she's like, I can't say anything because I don't know anything.
She's just a queen.
But it's like the same sort of thing like Yoko Ono would do, like scream into the mic. It's almost like it's almost like its own way. It's almost like doing that in a song with like a synthesizer and making it scream into the computer. And trying to capture that and control it and make art with that. It's just like a tool within a tool, and it just makes it more fun. But I don't know, sometimes that's just why some of my synths sound like the brown note.
And it's like, it's just like, impressionists or expressionists that are like these highly trained people who could, paint a mean portrait, but what do they choose to do? They choose to like make something that like a 12-year-old could do, and it's the breaking of the rules that's so on purpose, where like if Yoko wanted to go up there and write everything she said like in a very concise way, that her screaming into a microphone for 10 minutes says the same thing, you know, and in a much more memorable way, and it's the only reason people talk about it.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the coolest art in the world is breaking the rules, pushing the boundaries, and saying this is unlike anything else, and there's a certain courage in it as an artist. I mean, just your name alone, which I'm curious how it came, Avant Garbage. That to me right there.
I just own that. And because like avant-garde, the movement, that definitely inspired by Yoko first, to keep her on the subject, but I
knew this was going to be a little bit of a love letter to Yoko.
Yeah,
just
I hope she watches. But
that's why I try and make some of the sounds in our songs like
crazy.
Avant-garde.
Yeah,
how would you define avant-garde? In your own way, it doesn't have to be Webster level, but
I guess just like definitely like the anti-art element to it, but it's just, in my own definition, is just freedom. It's like these sort of like you don't have to challenge yourself with all of these things that you learned in art school or whatever, and it's just really taking those first instincts you have and, you know, finding like the fastest way to talk about it. And that fastness is a really important thing in my process too. I do not like to labor over anything because I'm just ready for the next thing, you know.
Yes.
So that's sort of been my place with all of that.
You guys
It's more
crank it
real
out.
that way too.
Yeah.
Don't spend any time overthinking about
Yeah, because then it
stuff.
gets muddy and ugly, and then you feel it, you know.
Yeah, you're laboring over it, and think about all of the amazing artists who haven't met their ET friend, who you know, is you guys were catalysts for each other, but there's so many people who are alone in their work, and their novels die with them, or their music
But
never
they should
gets
keep
sees the
doing
world.
it because it's like people's sole purpose is to create stuff. Almost, even if you're not making art, you're still in ways that you probably don't even know. You're probably still creating stuff. Like, and if you're not, you're creating different timelines for other people, different things. You're doing stuff. You're creating a life for everyone around you. I mean, like, even if you're not making physical stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, and to that point
What
though,
am I talking about?
no, you're right, but it is such a blessing to have a collaborator, like, and it is, and like for people, you know, there are people who like almost intentionally try to be lonely with their artwork, and, you know, not to criticize them, but I just there is so much joy in sharing it with somebody else. And I'm so different with my visual art too. Like, I mean, like when I'm in the studio, like I can't even like work if I even think someone's watching me.
Yeah,
So,
a totally different thing.
So, but you know, the aftermath of that, like in like the showing off of the dirty laundry, it's like that's still really important, you know, to have conversations about your work. So, anyone who wants to be a stinky butt and like not want to have friends in the arts, like you gotta get out there. You just gotta, you do.
It's true.
It's true.
It's a big reason why I wanted to learn improv comedy instead of, you know, I'm now going to stand up after 3 or 4 years, but I wanted to learn the collaborative way.
That's so smart.
Yeah, I heard one of my, you know, I've heard improvisers and I've heard comics talk about their story on podcasts just like this, and it's harder to collaborate with a group or with a friend sometimes, especially if you don't have the experience. You might feel like an only child artist. And, you know, to have a friend hold space for you, and, you know, there's all sorts of books like The Artist's Way and Rick Rubin's book I was telling Tim about. Yeah, and you can listen to the audiobook, but it's like, you know, showing someone your work and being able to, whatever they have to say about it doesn't matter so much, but it's like they might actually make you feel about it differently. Ultimately, you're
That's
your
true.
best audience.
So
Oh my
true.
gosh, that's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind when you make something and someone sees it completely different. Then you realize, like, when you make these things and put them out into the world, like, you lose control of them too. Which is,
I just need to hear something. Sometimes, like, I'll make something just for that person. Like, I need them to, like, tell me how.
like a little virtue signal in the song.
Like,
Yeah, I love sending signals.
Like, but not even that. It's like not even that. It's just like, how does it like make I don't know. Like,
Where do you
just
go
need
with it?
Sometimes with music, I need some opinions too with other people. Obviously, you and other people, like, and I just like to. I don't know. You can even take notes about like how they, you know, anything when someone's listening to one of your songs. Like, I don't know, especially like if it's unreleased, then you can really. I don't know.
But improv and comedy, like, just to go to that, just that's such a world that I just don't understand, and it just you're so good at it.
Oh, thank you. It's something that I started doing after I lost my mom in 2020, and was feeling like needed to bring some joy to the world, needed to bring some spirit, and I knew that this was going to be the seed of something beautiful. And just putting out these free classes in my town of New Paltz, Happenstancery was born. And it's a lot like what you two do together, where it's just like, we're going to lay down the beat, we're going to think about it, and, you know, you improv every time you bring a pen to a paper and journal. It's up to you what you bring out, and every time you start messing around with samples and laying down a beat, it's all channeling this artistic spirit. And somehow it turns out to be funny if your mind is in the right headspace and you're, you know, with people's storytelling. And I've loved it. Yeah, it's been my favorite art form.
Should we do an improv session right now?
Yeah.
Can you teach us?
Here's one we can do. Let's do one word at a time poem, real quick.
Okay.
And the theme will be, Serena, give us a word that starts with P for Pickles, the cat.
Okay.
Any word.
Purple.
All right, a purple poem. Royal. Don't think about it too much.
Royal Guards.
R.
Patrolling.
Petroleum.
At.
The.
Petroleum rig. In.
Sorry.
Outer.
Britain.
Okay, we've set the stage there.
We have like an
So,
environment.
folks, that was a little taste of it. There's petroleum guards patrolling outside of the petroleum factory.
in outer Britain.
Oil in Britain, and there's Royal Guards.
We would live in a
oil.
different world.
That's
yeah.
That's it. Now we could jump into a scene and be like, oh, any signs of people today here in the petroleum world? Whatever the seed is,
Yeah.
it's all about saying, yes,
Yeah.
I'll roll with you on that.
Yeah.
We're patrolling and there's
No,
petroleum.
Yeah, that was
That's why you
exciting.
got to be a yes man when you're making art.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're just like, otherwise, what is it about?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You guys didn't
Yeah.
freak kick me out when I came in here with a puppet and a bunch of wires.
No,
freak you
honestly,
out.
I would have kicked you out if you didn't
I
have
was
the puppet.
embarrassed I didn't have one to bring out.
Well, you did. You have all these ET
That's true.
things.
I mean, yeah.
So,
That's true.
we were destined to connect, coming from Elmira
Yeah.
and being artists, being, in this town that is known for the college, it's known for its prison, it's known not so much for its arts community until recently. There's been a turn and there's always been these things that bring people together. But you guys going to DIY Corning shows and
Yeah.
meeting each other, it was very exciting to, connect with you and say, let's make a music video. And that was something that we did when the first time we really met and worked together in this creative
I'm
way.
still so grateful that happened.
Yeah,
it was
it was
so
really
fun.
good.
And
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I'm sorry it took like this long for it to even come out, and it's like
No, that's cool because
I
that's.
sent you like different versions of this stupid song.
Oh, don't be sorry because it's with art. Sometimes it's just waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, and it
we
was the
released
right
it on
moment.
Valentine's
It
Day.
was very
Yes.
sweet.
Caught in a dream. I
Yeah.
first known it as falling in love with a stranger
Right.
as the chorus.
Yeah.
And that I'm interested in learning more about that song. But what
Oh.
an example of all of us collaborating.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
it was a seed of when I listen to a song, everybody who knows me who's a musician, I'm always like, we should make a music video. Like I love getting to
Yeah.
put on my director cap and
Oh my god, and he's so good too.
So
I was
good.
like, I feel like that was probably one of the first times I met you. Maybe.
It
I
was.
think so.
think
Real
so,
I
yeah.
knew of you and
Yeah.
that you were the
Right. Like,
The Magic Man.
followed
Magic
you
Man.
online, but like honestly blew my mind away with the whole like I couldn't even believe you like it was like a whole story. I didn't even know what to expect. I just expected like a parking garage video, but no, it was like
It was
a whole
it tore.
narrative.
It
we
tore.
we had a thread and a
And
little
there's
script.
camera, like there's cinematic like elements, and
Yeah.
I was like,
It was very
shit,
professional.
Like I was very
Yeah.
professional.
It was so fun, and it was one of those things. I think it was like right around that time, 2021, and I was
Yeah.
just like coming home for something. I think it was even like a wake or something for my mom, like a heavy time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to do something creative with this new camera. And my mom, the money I got from my mom passing, bought this camera that we're now shooting this on. And I had all this stuff and was like, I want to work on something creative. Send me a track.
Yeah.
And, this song, I took in the words and the poems of it. You mentioned St. Anthony, and I'm
Yeah.
like, we got to go to St. Anthony Church
Yeah,
for
yeah.
his quick pickup shop.
Right.
And, the lyrics, the story came together, the cast came together. But I was amazed at this song that you two made, and I know everyone I know who's seen it has said, like, that is such a great song. And it's the last song on that album.
Yeah.
How did that one come about, and what
I'd
is the...
actually like to talk about it because Elliot actually wrote the whole thing basically.
That was a weird one. It was one where I had written a whole song like in one session, and even like started like coming up with a melody and humming it. And
like they sang that one to me.
And I did. I came over and I said, la da 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 da, make the song now. And
we were going after that.
Yeah, and it was that one. I mean, going back, this was like 20. I wrote that one in 2021, and I was like in between relationships and like trying to think of like, you know, just ideas for how to talk about that. And the St. Anthony line, you know, that comes from, you know, for anyone who doesn't know, is like there's a little prayer, and it's dear St. Anthony, please come around, something is lost and can't be found.
Yes.
He's the patron saint of like, I don't know, finding stuff or
and
something.
it works, folks. It's
And
powerful.
it is I'm telling you, that shit works. And so yeah, so
And you know,
You're looking for something.
for something, and
in the world.
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and that one was, I think that one is maybe a first-person perspective song. I don't know. And whenever I write a song, and I'm saying it's like the seven-headed monster of like me and other people who I'm writing about all in one sort of wrapped up little bow.
It feels very much like the best music I love is like a good journal entry.
Yeah.
And I know you're even writing about in your journal in Seeping, right? There's
Yeah.
a little line in there.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, okay, this is your kind of style.
It's on my writing.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Wait, that's not a lyric yet.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
You had more lyrics. This process of creating, and then the song "Strangers" by the Kinks is one of my favorite songs, and one of the lyrics in that is "Strangers on this road we are on, we are not two, we are one."
Yeah.
And it's like falling in love with a stranger. There's a lot of great songs just about every stranger in this world, and whether my whole upbringing, my true favorite moments were walking down the road of Elmira, just looking at all the strangers passing by in their cars through the windshield, and being like, you guys are all amazing. I love every one of these people. Like, it brings me joy to make eye contact with this world through each and every one of you.
Yeah.
I get that.
I really get that.
So honestly, I feel you.
Yeah,
Yeah, servers, it's the hardest industry. You do such a good job as servers of making people feel welcome and safe, and then, open up to their family and enjoy a meal.
Right.
It's an important thing.
It's a really special time of their day, and you make it happen.
I hope
so. You do.
I bet you make
I know
them
you
feel
tear
really
that
good.
shit up.
Before we get off the topic of like strangers and the song, it's just like I just wanted to say like it's the perfect time to like release the music video right now. Like it must have happened for a reason, because it just gives us a little bit more, like a little attention on the old album, because now we've got these couple new songs coming out and some more new songs, and we're working on the new album. So it's just like almost like a don't forget about me over here.
Don't forget about the old stuff, and SoundCloud is great for experiencing a lot of it.
That's true.
Eliott Houghtelling.
We need to consolidate a lot and get it on streaming.
Yes, and that is going to be exciting. But folks, check that out. And the YouTube video, the music video is available. YouTube, Joseph Anthony Davis, or Thinking Bench. I put it on both of those, and it feels like such an amazing collaboration between us, and just the excitement. We were talking about Chemung River on the way here, and how much we love this river that runs through our hometown.
Yeah.
That's in there too.
Yeah.
In our video.
Yeah, and I mean that is like a very like
That's true.
spiritual and special place for me.
Me too.
There's something magic about it, and we have another song about the water. It's about the water. I have this like ongoing.
Is that on
like
anything?
I don't know.
I think I haven't heard this one, so I hope it's coming soon.
It's like a headcanon
have to
of mine
put that
that like
on
the Chemung River is cursed, but also like the Fountain of Youth or something. Like there's something up with it.
The river's powerful. For those who don't know, I believe Chemung was a Native American word for like big horn.
Big horn.
There was a woolly mammoth horn sticking straight up out of the river.
They found it on Jerusalem Hill, yeah.
And obviously, to the Native American spirits and indigenous people around here, like that is really the ultimate. We got to acknowledge that we're always on stolen land, and that river, of course, would be a gathering spot, but it's this community that's built around it. I felt the real spiritual connection there, and my song Vicky Sue for my mom the music video is all about this day where I was going down to the river to get an Easter tree with my mom, and we would
Easter tree.
Yeah, we would cut out a tree, and she would all of her knickknacks have like little plastic eggs or bunnies and things to hang from it, and it would be around this time of year you would cut a tree like off of a branch, put it in some water, and like it would always bloom randomly, like around Easter, start coming to life.
I have never heard of this.
It's
That
a
is
very
so
rare thing. One of our
making me want to do an Easter
You
tree.
need one, and it can be anything, and you get some little knickknacks. And this music video, I captured it from when I was a lot younger, and it was the perfect thing to put under our song. And at the end of it, she looks right into the camera, and I might have to include this towards the end of the podcast. She looks in and says how much she loves her kids and her 4 children. She lives her life for us, and me too. And then this fish or something jumps out into the air and plops back into the water. And she's like, oh my God, this is an omen. Somebody else is here with us. And it's this moment forever captured. And that river,
That's
I
so
felt like was
special.
alive with us that day.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we got to go back there for your music
Yeah.
video as
Yeah.
the conclusion. It's one of those spots.
That's a thinker.
If you really if you need to go somewhere where you like, want to connect with the great beyond, I feel
Yeah.
like a river's edge.
A river is just so special. I mean, like historically, I mean, like this place wouldn't exist without it. None of us would be here without that river. And
Absolutely.
we came to it.
Yeah.
And that's so special.
It's powerful. And be a river, poetically. One of my mentors always says that, of like the way you guys keep releasing, like you talked about, you work on it, you craft it, and then the process, it feels like for you, all right, let's move on.
Yeah.
We're keeping flowing so that the next
Yes.
thing can come out.
Yes.
What is that process for you guys of saying like, all right, it's done enough? What is the signs of like, maybe we're working on this a little too long?
Usually just feel it.
Yeah.
You
Or
feel
it's
it.
it's me.
Or
Yeah.
when I've said exactly what I wanted to say
Yeah.
with my sounds.
Yeah.
You get that excitement of like, this is starting to feel.
No,
Yeah.
like I have to feel that feeling you
Yeah.
get when you hear a song you like that
And,
gets
like,
you excited.
I think
Yeah.
both of us are pretty good at, like, if something's not working in a song, like, we take just the right amount of time away from it, and then we'll come back to something a few months later and be like, oh, this was a banger. Why did we sleep on it? And then it
sometimes
happens.
I just
Yeah.
I need to have sometimes I just need to have the right like feeling, like internally, like I have to be in a good mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's it.
It
And
just
if
kind of
I'm-
tells you.
Right, or I need to be in a sad mood, like, or I need to be in
Or we're
the
just
mood.
itching to put something out, like, like sometimes it's like that too. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, what can we get out there?
How can we show it? And folks, there's a lot to check out. The new singles, See Me Like You Do, and the other one,
Shelter Dog.
Shelter Dog. I really recommend it. You got the great album cover
Thank
on
you.
there as well. That's the other part. The album cover art is always
Yeah.
so much fun.
Thank you.
And it's combining our mediums.
Right.
Yeah, and it is the visual part I would love to make more music videos too. It's just because that is just so. That's like this whole other thing that makes it so exciting,
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. For anyone listening, let's definitely, collaborate and stay tuned on with this. I mean, I want to send people your way for recording, right? Are you open to that as, more people to take in and get that Tim experience?
Hey, I don't know. It's like we'd have to be friends.
Yeah, okay, maybe don't email unless you want to chime in.
I don't know. It depends, but like I don't know.
Well, I
It's like-
encourage you to try that
Yeah,
more.
get out there.
Because
I should.
look what you've done for Elliot.
Yeah.
I know.
There's more needing it. But you're right. It has to be there, the jive, the connection.
The Jive.
The Joe's jive.
I worry about expectations when I'm making music for a lot of like other people. Like I know what Elliot expects from me, but I don't know.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I could do anything, really, kind of. Not anything, but like I'd like to
You can
say
do
that
it all.
because it makes you feel better, even if you can't.
Yeah.
But like I'm talking sonically.
Yeah.
But even if that's not true too, which it isn't, but you just got to think like that, and it helps instead of being down on yourself.
Speaking of that, how do you celebrate when something's done, like amongst yourself? It could just be any example, but how do you
Listening to it in the car.
Over and
Yeah.
over and over
Together.
again. Like,
Oh.
yeah. That's like, we'll be like, let's go to Wegmans.
Right,
and
yeah.
then, like,
Yeah.
listen to it 40 times in the
Like
car. Yeah.
somewhere, right.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I don't know.
my favorite thing in the world is when Tim's like, I put a new bounce in the Google Drive, and like I can listen to it on my commute and just be like, I sound like a musician.
That's amazing. Well, we are going to do that with this podcast, and I'm gonna definitely be listening to this on the way to Wegmans.
Yeah. What's funny is I recently, I hadn't shown my music to my parents at all, and I sent our new songs to my dad, and he's like, "Is that really you singing?" Like he couldn't even believe it, and it was this really special moment. He sent it to all my brothers, all my family, and they were like, "We didn't know you did this," because like for some reason it's like the secret with my family, and I don't know, and it's not on purpose. I guess it's just because like I don't know, they don't follow me on Instagram, like they don't see me posting, and so
there's a gap,
and so that was a really special moment, and they're like, "So you and Tim make music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for like the last 6 years." No big deal.
Part of my
so
life.
it was really sweet.
That's
so
funny, they didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So and my dad, he really mastered it. So
well, I hope you send them this and they get the full story, because really now it's forever memorialized for all the people out there. Find your friends, explore and support your friends' creativity. It seems like is the real lesson here.
Yeah.
Keep creating together, you two.
Yeah, and like just to add on, like I mean, thinking about where we're from, it's like we're in rural New York, and people think you have to like go to a big city, you have to do all this stuff to meet other artists and like to make these connections, but like you're everywhere, we're everywhere, and you'll meet your people and make really awesome things happen, and it's we're really lucky.
Absolutely. We so are. Well, I think that's a great way to move forward here. I think to close the folks off, we're going to have to show you Vicky Sue and Caught in a Dream to put on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
The back-to-back coming your way for the viewers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I like putting in a little video of some kind at the end. I have it on the hard drive.
That'd be nice.
Let's give you the full Shaman experience. Is there anything else to promote that exciting to come out, or in closing here to tell folks to where they can find more about, especially your art too, because you guys have to see the Avant Garbage artwork. It's incredible.
Yeah.
If anything, just Elliott's artwork.
Just my Instagram, and I have a website
And
too.
That's true.
Yeah, I have a website.
What's
I made
the website?
It's Eliott Houghtelling.com, I think. So there you go. Can't beat that. It might not be that. It's something like that. I made the HTML for it though, so
You'll find it. And you also.
I just want to promote the promise of consolidation of our tracks.
Yeah, we're going to be professional
regular
one day.
streaming services.
That's going to be great. Well, either way, SoundCloud, you guys got
we're up
the
on
good
SoundCloud.
hookup. And I saw DiBella Music.
DiBella Music.
Also.
Yes, DiBella Music. That's where the fun stuff happens.
Yeah,
That's
where the
like
weird stuff
even
happens.
more madness.
Yeah,
It's
that's the weird.
madness.
That's the weird stuff.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not even mad. It's like sane madness.
It's so
pretty
fun. I mean, it just makes me have a great time
It is
listening
mad,
to your
though.
tunes.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time, and I just want everybody watching this. So let's keep supporting. Send a message to these two. Tell them how much you like and what you think of the music, because I
Or
think
if you hate it.
even if you hate
even
it,
if you
because
hate it, tell
the
us.
I wanna
Yoko.
know how many
What's the
people-
Yoko lesson we learned?
Yeah, be a hater.
If you
Be
don't,
a hater.
It'll
if
make
you don't,
us
you haven't
stronger.
made it unless you've been hated on.
So
It's
real.
true.
So real.
Awesome. Well, amazing stuff. How about we just play that little keyboard
Do a
to
little
bring us
outro?
Oh
home?
my god, please.
Little outro.
We're gonna go with.
Wait, where's my shaker?
All right, are we ready for some rock music?
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
All right, love you, Pat.
Going to the river. Let it flow. Let it flow. 'Cause I'm a giver at the river. And the river.
That's the blues.
I was making some music down by the water.
Ooh.
Friends came over, said, "Oh, I wanna play with you. That's what I wanna do. Yeah, we're gonna play all day and release that music to the world."
Tell me when to send it out. One more?
Okay, one more.
One more.
I said,
And when you go to the river, gonna have a good time. And hit the river, hit the river.
Okay, why are you killing it? Why was that crazy? That was good.
Perfect. Thanks for listening to Joe's Jive.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Please.
Peace and love.
Got caught in a dream again. Thought I saw you with your Eliott. No other cicadas that sing to me. I could hear you praying to St. Anthony for the time you lost between the seats of your mother's minivan. And a moment later, your black eyes were open wide. And I tried to remember your name. I could not, only that it felt so good on my tongue. And you were just too young. And nothing is stranger than falling in love with a stranger. And what's stranger is you were never really a stranger. I drove through your parking lot, looking for a parking spot, and now I know there's no room for me. I know it was only a dream. And when the bugs flew away from the trees, and you learn that loss is just what's in between, the space that kept you away from me. It was always this place that keep you away from me. And nothing is stranger than falling in love with a stranger. And what is stranger is you were never really a stranger. I drove through your parking lot, looking for a parking
small crack out of the sack. It's in God's hands. You know you don't need no plan. He's just gonna laugh to find a life filled with meaning. You gotta search the fibers of your being. Vicky Sue taught me to be true. Vicky Sue lets that spirit come through. Vicky Sue with her eyes on the new. Vicky Sue, we love you. We're having a party, and we love you. We're having a party, and we love you. Find the unknown and get cozy dozy. Who cares what they think? You got no need to be so nosy. Share love with all. Pick up those who fall. So with all of my might, oh, I'm giving you a kiss and a bite. Thank you for filling my heart. I know that we will never part. So I honestly gotta go. But I thought that you oughta know how Vicky Sue. Oh, we love you, Vicky Sue. Let spirit come through. Vicky Sue with her eyes on the new. Vicky Sue taught me to be true. We're having a party, and we love you. 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 Vicky Sue, ooh, Vicky Sue, Vicky Sue.
I love you so much. I'm so proud of my 4 children. You're the best thing I ever did in my whole life. I'm proud to be each one of your mothers. Make me so happy. And live for you. Meet.
Oh. Holy shoot! I don't know.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
A twig fell in? That is an omen. What the hell was that?
Sasquatch?
That was an omen. Somebody else is here with us. Oh my God.
Wow.
Love it.
We gotta watch it back.
Yeah, were you filming?